The time is 12 minutes past 7. Now, the Conservatives have an idea to help us control our alcohol consumption. They want to abolish units and replace them with centilitres of alcohol, and to change the labelling regime for drinks. Andrew Lansley is the Shadow Health Secretary. Good morning to you.
Good morning.
So, look, a bottle of beer or bottle of wine, perhaps more relevant to our audience, what would you see change on a bottle?
Well, Evan, if you'll forgive me, can I just say what I'm publishing today is a public health green paper that sets out a broader strategy, and alcohol and the abuse of alcohol and the deaths that are associated with it and the 20 billion costs to society of the misuse of alcohol is clearly a very significant public health challenge where we're going in the wrong direction and we have some of the worst statistics in Europe, and we can't go on like this. And clearly units of alcohol and the system of information to the public is not at the moment enabling the public to make clearly sufficiently good decisions. So on issues like the units of alcohol, like actually in relation to the labelling on food, with guideline daily amounts related to things like grams of saturated fats and salt, if we want to encourage people and have strategies locally and nationally to support people in making responsible decisions about their drinking, let's give them the information in a clear and undistorted form. And units has become clearly confusing. Centilitres of alcohol is what we are measuring, and we should therefore simply measure centilitres of alcohol.
They are the same thing, though, aren't they? A unit is a centilitre of alcohol.
Well,
so
if
it's
we're
just
measuring
changing the name, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, actually, if you think about it, if what we're trying to measure is alcohol, and like, for example, in foods, often what we're trying to measure is calories in some respects and grams of fats and salts in the other. Let's measure those things, and then let's go on and say to people, how much actually are people drinking in terms of centilitres of alcohol? But what is a standard drink? Because at the moment we've had this situation where people imagine that units gives them some measure of what is a standard drink, that 1 unit equals a standard drink. Of course it doesn't, as you know. But often a glass of wine might be, well, it's 125 millilitres, it's going to be about 1.5 units, and 175 might be about 2 units, and so on and so on. And this is clearly helping to create confusion.
Why don't you just tell the drinks industry, look, on the front of the bottle, in big coloured writing, not on the back of the bottle, in a little thing, but on the front of the bottle, or the can, it has to say how many units are in that bottle or in that can. So it will say 9 or 10
what
on
I'm
a bottle
aiming
of
for
wine
is that we
instead
tell
of 6.
people how much alcohol, how many centilitres of alcohol. Now you may say, oh well, units is simply a confusing
but everybody's got units now. Everyone knows 21 units a week, don't they? So you're going to replace 21 units with 21 centilitres, and the a lot of the NGOs and others who are concerned about these things think it's going to be more confusing to take people through a whole
if we're trying to measure alcohol, let's measure that. And actually, of course, part of this is we don't have this information on products. Only barely a majority of products, about 56% of products, actually have this units information on it. We can't legislate in this country alone for this. We need to do it on a European-wide basis. Other European countries have different measures for the units that they use, if they use units. If we are going to achieve, as we need to for labelling purposes, a European-based system, then let's go directly to measuring what it is that we are trying to give people information about. That is the quantity of alcohol in the drink that they are drinking, or the bottle of beer or wine or whatever it is they're buying. And actually, let me put this in context. It's not this alone. And people, I think, it's one of the fallacies in all this is for people to say, oh, the magic bullet on alcohol is enforcement of the under-18s, or it's raising the price and a minimum unit price, or even, you know, how we label alcohol. Actually, what really matters is both making sure that the supply of alcohol is properly regulated, and indeed for some alcohols that the duty level is higher, but at the same time operating on the demand side. If we do not have, as my green paper is going to be talking about across the board, strategies which work with people and with the business and voluntary sector in order to help to create behaviour change and change people's responsibility in relation to these issues, then we are not going to have the kind of resolution of these rising tide of alcohol abuse which we need to have happen.
Andrew Lansley, thank you very much indeed.